Aloha everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is Javier, and today I'm going to be making a video of how I'm going to roast this whole beautiful bluefin trevally jack here in my home in Maui, Hawaii. As an avid spear fisherman, I get a lot of questions on how I cook my fish, and there are numerous different ways of cooking fish, obviously. A lot of people that do know me never got the chance to visit me in Costa Rica, where I had my restaurant called Tortugas. It was a spear fisherman's restaurant where I basically caught almost all the fish for the restaurant and had the pleasure of cooking it. And although I've deep fried, steamed, grilled, pan fried, my favorite thing to do is cook whole fish, regardless of the size. So today, we're going to be cooking this beautiful bluefin trevally jack, roasting it in the oven. The first thing that we're going to do is prepare the fish. And to do so, what we need to do is trim off these fins. First, the side fins. And now we're going to trim off the tail just a little bit so it fits a little bit better inside the pan. Gorgeous. Get rid of these. Next thing I want to do is I'm actually going to score the fish. So to do that, just a nice sharp knife. I want to score it about every inch, all the way from the tail all the way up. This is going to allow it to cook just a little bit easier. Same thing on the other side. And there we have it. Now we have our Omilu prepped and ready to get seasoned and ready to be put into the oven. Next thing we're going to do is actually season the fish itself. So with a little bit of olive oil, I like to just drizzle a little olive oil on the fish itself. That's going to help the seasoning just stick a little bit better. I rub it down. And today, I'm actually going to be using lemon pepper. Just a plain, nice lemon pepper you find at any store will do. Try to get it inside the cracks. Let that seasoning go in there. A little bit of the inside. We are going to be stuffing this beautiful bluefin jack with some of the condiments and vegetables that I'm about to prepare next. But for now, let's just prepare with just a little bit of liberal seasoning. I actually didn't put olive oil on that side, that's fine. There we go. And once again on this side, a little bit of lemon pepper. Gorgeous. This fish is so beautiful. Alright. Now our fish is ready to be wrapped up and steamed. But we've got to do quite a bit of work before that's done. We've got to prepare our vegetables. Now this beautiful Omilu is going to be roasted in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes. And it's going to be laid over a bed of fennel, lemongrass, limes, and some basil. So we're going to set the fish aside and we're going to get started with the vegetables. We're going to first start with the fennel. Chop the fennel apart. All of this, what's beautiful about this particular recipe is it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to make any minor cuts. Everything's going to stay pretty chunky. Because the first thing that we want to do, we actually want to roast the fennel and some of the limes. That's going to help that aroma come out. It's going to help caramelize those limes. And you're going to see how we're going to be using those to move forward. So we're going to take the fennel, and like I said, in pretty big blocks, just put it right in there. We're going to be roasting this. Let's chop this one in half. And let's chop this one in half. Beautiful. Alongside some limes. So let's go ahead and slice some limes up. I've already got my oven preheated for 350 degrees, so it is ready to go. So I'm just going to put the limes liberally in here. I'm going to do probably 3 limes today. Limes are a crucial part of any really good fish plate. Now, after we prepare this, and get the fish ready, we're also going to be making a spicy mayonnaise with a little bit of hot peppers, basil, not quite an aioli, but a nice spicy mayonnaise that we're going to be talking about. One more lime I think will do. Now, as you can tell, there's no rhyme or reason of how I'm putting them down because I'm actually going to be taking them off the tray and placing them on the fish itself. So it doesn't really matter how you place it. It doesn't have to be pretty. This isn't a pretty deal. Bang, bang, boom. Let's throw this in the oven. All right. Okay, so we've got the fish prepped. We have got the fennel and the limes already in the oven. Now what we need to do is prep the bed that the fish is actually going to go on. Now that was a pretty big fish, right? I find the best way to wrap my fish in tin foil is to actually lay my tin foil out lengthwise straight across. That way it's just going to wrap itself like a giant taco. Now what are we going to use for the bed? Today is a very special day. I don't always use this fennel bed lemongrass mix, but today we're going to be doing it. It gives it a really nice, sweet, refined taste, especially for this quality of meat. So I'm going to take the remaining fennel. I'm just going to chop this back part off, right? And I'm going to make this a light bed of the fennel. It's going to be basically laying on that. I'm going to put this in the end. Great. Now, we're going to just take a little bit of lemongrass. Now remember that this is going to be more of our aromatic style of seasoning. So all I'm going to do to the lemongrass is I'm going to split it in half. Lemongrass, a little bit of lemongrass goes quite a long way, right? Split in half. This is what I'm looking for. Now to get that aroma out, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the lemongrass up. And that's what you're looking for, that really, really nice sweet taste of that lemongrass. So I'm not trying to chop it, I'm just trying to split it up to bring that aroma out. So let's get the rest of these. Beautiful, right? Gorgeous. Now, this is my first ever video I've ever made, so I apologize if it's not perfect, but I'm definitely having a good time. I am by no means trying to get my own cooking show. I just figured it'd be a lot of fun to make a video for all my friends and family to see, and hopefully you guys will pick up a couple of tips and tricks today that you'll be able to pass on, and the next time you catch a big fish, you'll be able to make this nice, refined meal. All right, so we've got the fennel and the lemongrass right there. Next, what we're going to do is just take a little bit of garlic. Just take that top cover off. Once again, this does not have to be a finely chopped thing. I'm actually going to take the whole garlic cloves, and like many of you know, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to split them open. Crush them just like that with your knife, and we're just going to lay them right there. Once again, more of an aromatic kind of seasoning. It's almost going to be steamed inside of its own little aluminum cocoon in here. And all these amazing aromas that I can smell right now are going to be permeated onto this beautiful fish. Beautiful. So now we got the garlic, once again, nice and choppy, no big deal, right? Not trying to make it nice and minced or anything like that. And we are ready to move on. Lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to take just a little bit of basil. I'm just going to make a bed for this beautiful fish that we're going to be cooking. Fabulous. I'm getting so excited. Now, you don't want to use all the basil because we're going to be using some of this basil for the spicy basil and red chili pepper mayonnaise that we're going to be actually topping the fish with. Okay, so now we're ready to rock. Before we pull out our roasted limes and fennel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on my fennel, basil, garlic bed, and a little bit of sea salt. A little bit will go a long way. Fantastic. And it's time to get this show started. So, let's go ahead and pull out. Oh, it smells so good, so sweet, fantastic. A little bit of roasted fennel, roasted limes, and now it's time to deal with our gorgeous fish. So let's go ahead and place the Omilu, goodness gracious, right on top of that bed. That's a pretty darn big fish. Now, what are we going to do with the roasted fennel and the limes? As I said before, we're actually going to be stuffing it. So let's grab some of the fennel and we're going to be sticking it inside. Limes, stick it in. And so a little bit more side down. That way, that sweetness is just going to permeate and go right into the fish. Now, this is not a garnish by no means. The juices of the limes are actually going to be seeping into the fish. Put a couple more inside. And now we're going to put the fennel on top as well. So now the fish is ready, and just for fun, I'm going to top it off with a little bit of more sea salt. Gorgeous. And a little bit of olive oil right on top. Beautiful. Let's wrap her up. So, the fish is wrapped up, it's in its bed, and we're ready to put it in the oven. So, exactly 350 degrees. Goodness gracious, these things. And we're gonna put it in there, I'd say, I'll probably do about 25, 30 minutes. If this was a smaller Omilu, you could totally pull off 20 minutes. I will most likely leave him in there for about 30 minutes. And the fillets will just literally come right off the bone. So, let's let him cook. Let's start preparing the other food and let's see how it comes out. So, next thing we need to do is make our spicy mayonnaise. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do is take a little bit of that basil I told us to save, and we're gonna slice it very, 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 very thin. Okay? The thinner the better, because this is gonna be on a mayonnaise that we're actually gonna be putting right on top of the fish. A nice big dollop of it is what's gonna go right on the fish. This is probably way more than enough. We're gonna set that aside. Next, we're going to be using spicy chilies because I do want this to end up being just a little bit spicy. Now, the level of spiciness obviously is up to you. It does not have to be crazy, or it can. With my little boy, I'm probably not going to make it too spicy. And now we're going to thinly slice this chili. Now this is a pretty big fish, and I do have a lot of people. So I'm going to mince it up a little bit more, and I'm actually making a little more than I normally would. Beautiful against that white background. I'm not going to take all the basil though. I'm going to put a little bit of that basil in there. Blammo. And I'm going to put enough mayonnaise to cover it all up. And finally, we are going to put a nice fresh lime juice on there. Nice fresh lime juice. Hopefully my bracelet won't go into it. And obviously we're going to mix this up. Not too much mayonnaise right off the bat. I mean, not too much mayonnaise. Not too much lime juice right off the bat. You can get a little overzealous with the lime juice. Probably not the right bracelet to wear today. And as always, just a dash of that little bit of sea salt. Look at that. Fantastic. That's going to go right on top of the fish at the end of it all. As I said before, you can add more or less pepper. You can add more or less basil and more or less lime juice, up to your taste. All right, let's wait for the fish to come out and let's put it all together. All right, so everybody showed up and the beautiful fish came out. Let's see if we can take a good look at this thing. Oh, my goodness. If you were here, you can smell it. The aromas are amazing. Now, what we're going to do is the way that you roast it, it's the best way to get these fillets off. So, we are simply going to just, look at how that beautiful fillet just comes right off the bone. Absolutely magic. I am absolute magic.
And I planned my whole day.
Right? And now what we're going to take,
So I could spend as little time as possible.
as we were talking about that spicy mayonnaise, and we're going to do a cup, a nice, great helping of that right on top.
Keep it in advance and look closer.
And a little bit of yellow rice, just to add a little bit of color. And all of a sudden, you've got a beautiful bluefin trevally Omilu roasted over a bed of fennel, lemongrass, garlic, salt, and a little bit of olive oil. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I know this is the first one I've made, and hopefully I'll make a lot more in the future. So I hope you try this, enjoy, and aloha.